My girlfriend said, "It doesn't matter whose baby it is, you would be a good father," after admitting the baby might be another man's. So I sent a gift basket to their office addressed to the real dad. Honestly, I don't even know where to start with this mess. I'm sitting here at 2 a.m., can't sleep, and my whole world just got flipped upside down. My girlfriend Sienna, 27F, and I, 29M, have been together for 2 years. We moved in together 6 months ago and everything seemed perfect. We've been talking about marriage, maybe starting a family soon. I genuinely thought I'd found my person, you know. Like, we had our whole future mapped out. 3 days ago she texted me while I'm at work, "Lucas, I'm pregnant," just like that. No build-up, no, we need to talk. I stared at my phone for probably 5 minutes straight. My hands were literally shaking. I was over the moon. I mean, we hadn't been actively trying, but we weren't being super careful either. I immediately started planning this whole romantic dinner thing. Stopped by the flower shop, got her favorite white roses, made reservations at the Italian place where we had our first date, the whole 9 yards. She seemed happy when I surprised her with everything, but looking back now, there was something off. She kept looking at her phone, seemed distracted. When I started talking about telling our families, she said we should wait a bit and make sure everything's okay first. I thought she was just being cautious. Here's where it gets weird. The next morning I'm scrolling Instagram while having coffee and I see this post from Mara. She's Sienna's best friend from work. It's a picture of some guy with the caption, "Congrats to Eli Turner on becoming a dad soon. So excited for you," with a bunch of baby emojis. Sienna works at this marketing firm downtown, and she's mentioned Eli before. He's apparently some hotshot account manager. She's had to work late with him on projects multiple times over the past few months. At first I just thought it was funny timing. But what are the odds that someone else Sienna knows is also having a baby right now? I even mentioned it to her later. "Hey, weird coincidence, your friend Mara posted about your coworker Eli becoming a dad. Small world, right?" The color drained from her face. I'm not exaggerating, she went completely white. Then she snapped at me with this weird anger. "Why are you stalking my friend's social media? That's creepy, Lucas." Which made no sense because I follow Mara and her post was literally in my feed. But that wasn't the only weird thing. Over the next couple days, I started noticing other stuff that felt off. She got super nervous when I suggested calling her parents to tell them the news. Said we should wait until the 2nd trimester, which is reasonable, but she seemed almost panicked about it. Her phone behavior got even stranger. She started taking it to the bathroom with her, even for quick trips. When I asked if she wanted to start looking at baby stuff online together, she said she wasn't ready for that yet and seemed uncomfortable. And then there was the work schedule. She suddenly had a bunch of urgent projects that required staying late, including the night after she told me about the pregnancy. What kind of pregnant woman volunteers for extra work stress? But the thing that really got to me was when I suggested we start looking at bigger apartments. Her immediate response was, "Let's not get ahead of ourselves." Not excitement about growing our family, not discussion about what we'd need, just resistance to planning our future together. Every instinct I had was screaming that something wasn't right. I spent the weekend in this weird headspace. Part of me felt guilty for even thinking what I was thinking, but every time I looked at her, I kept seeing that moment when she went white. That wasn't the reaction of someone hearing innocent news about a coworker. So I did something I never thought I'd do. I started paying attention. Yesterday she left her laptop open while she went to shower. Her work Slack was up. I know I shouldn't have looked, but I couldn't help myself. There were messages between her and Eli going back months. Not just work stuff, inside jokes, late-night conversations, messages that felt way too familiar for coworkers. There was one thread from about 6 weeks ago where they talked about some work dinner and he wrote, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Wear that blue dress I like." and she responded with a winky face emoji. 6 weeks ago, right around when she would have gotten pregnant. My stomach dropped through the floor. I screenshotted everything I could before I heard the shower turn off. I haven't said anything yet. Part of me wants to confront her directly, but part of me thinks I need more evidence first. The thing is, looking back now, there were signs I ignored. She started going to the gym more often but never wanted me to come with her anymore. Said she needed me time to decompress from work stress. She got her hair done more frequently, bought new lingerie that I never saw her wear around me, started using this expensive perfume that wasn't her usual scent. And the phone thing, God, the phone thing. She used to leave it lying around everywhere. Now it's always face down, always with her. If I even glance at it when she gets a notification, she gets defensive. Says I'm being paranoid and possessive. I keep trying to rationalize this. Maybe Eli's someone else's baby. Maybe the timing is off. Maybe I'm reading too much into innocent work friendship messages, but my gut is screaming at me that I already know the truth. Reddit, am I losing my mind here? Is this as bad as it looks? I keep hoping there's some innocent explanation, but my gut is telling me my life just got turned upside down. What would you do? Edit, yes, I screenshotted the Slack messages. And yes, I'm going to keep digging before I confront her. I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with. To everyone saying, just ask her directly. I tried that once before when I suspected something was off. She made me feel like I was crazy and paranoid. I'm not doing that again without proof. Update 1, posted 2 weeks ago. So I spent the week after my last post doing what some of you suggested, documenting everything. I went through our shared cloud photos and found pictures of her getting ready for work events that she never mentioned to me. Designer dresses, full makeup, the works, for Tuesday night marketing meetings. Right. The Slack messages I found were just the tip of the iceberg. I managed to recover some deleted texts from her phone backup. We share an Apple ID, something I set up months ago that she apparently forgot about. Messages talking about hotels, about how Lucas suspects nothing, about how they need to be more careful, about how Sienna stays with me because I'm stable and Eli's not ready for this. Stable, like I'm some safety net, while she has her fun with someone more exciting. The worst part, there were messages about the pregnancy. She's known it might not be mine this entire time. There was a conversation with Eli where she's calculating dates, trying to figure out whose it is. She told him she was going to let Lucas think it's his until she could figure out what to do. One message thread from 2 weeks ago. Sienna, I told him, he's over the moon. Eli, and if it's mine. Sienna, then we'll cross that bridge, but Lucas would be a better father anyway. More stable income, owns property, actually wants kids. Eli, that's messed up s. Sienna, it's practical. You said yourself you're not ready for this. I printed everything. Screenshots, message threads, timeline, receipts, everything. I also found hotel charges on a credit card I'd forgot I'd added her to as an authorized user. 4 different hotels over the past 3 months. All during times she said she was working late or having girls' nights with Mara. Thursday night I cooked dinner like normal. Set the table, opened wine for me, she obviously couldn't drink. Acted like everything was fine. After we ate I pulled out the folder. Sienna, we need to talk. I've never seen someone's face change so fast. She knew immediately what was in that folder. I laid it all out. The Slack messages, the deleted texts, the hotel receipts, the timeline that shows she was sleeping with Eli right around when she got pregnant. I watched her try to come up with explanations, excuses, anything. First, she tried denial. Those messages don't mean what you think they mean. When I read them back to her word for word, she switched to anger. You violated my privacy. You went through my private messages. That's illegal. I told her we shared the Apple ID, and she authorized herself on my credit card. Nothing I accessed was illegal. Then came the gaslighting. You're taking everything out of context. Eli and I are just friends. Those messages were jokes. You're being paranoid. When I showed her the hotel receipts, she claimed they were for work conferences that she forgot to mention. When I pointed out that her company's website showed no conferences on those dates, she said they were industry events she attended with colleagues. Which colleagues? I asked. A silence. Finally, tears and manipulation. It doesn't matter whose baby it is, Lucas. I love you. I want to be with you. You're the one who would be a good father. We can work through this. People make mistakes. That last line broke something in me. Mistakes, I said. This wasn't a mistake. This was months of planning, lying, and manipulation. You were calculating whose baby this is, like some kind of game. She broke down completely then. Started sobbing about how she never meant for it to happen, and how she got caught up in something, and how Eli pursued her, and she didn't know how to stop it. I asked her directly, "Is this baby Eli's?" She couldn't answer, just kept crying and saying it didn't matter, that she made a mistake, but it was over now. "When did it start?" I asked. 4 months ago, she whispered. 4 months. 2 months after we moved in together. 1 month after I introduced her to my parents and they started talking about grandkids. I told her she had until the end of the weekend to get her stuff and get out. She begged, promised to cut all contact with Eli, said she'd quit her job if necessary, offered to take a paternity test, said she'd do anything to fix this. But all I could think about was that message. Lucas would be a better father anyway, more stable income, owns property. She left yesterday morning, packed 2 suitcases and left like our 2 years together meant nothing. But here's the kicker, and this is why I'm updating. This morning I had a brilliant idea. I ordered a congratulations basket, had it delivered to their office with a card that read, "Congratulations Eli and Sienna on your pregnancy. Wishing you both all the happiness you deserve as you start this journey together. From a concerned friend who believes honesty is the best policy." I'm told it was delivered right to the reception desk during the morning meeting when everyone was around. My phone has been buzzing all day. Sienna's called me 47 times. Eli apparently tried to get security to trace who sent the basket. Several mutual friends have texted asking what the hell is going on. I feel like I can breathe for the first time in weeks. Edit for those asking, yes, she's definitely moved in with Eli now. His apartment according to the address I found in their messages. Studio apartment, with a leased Honda Civic. Edit 2, someone asked about work. Oh boy, the fallout from the basket was apparently spectacular. My friend Jake works in the same building and gave me all the details. Apparently Sienna went completely white and tried to claim it was a mistake or prank, but the card was very specific. Eli just sat there looking like he wanted to disappear into the floor. Jake says the whole office has been buzzing about it for days. Sienna called in sick the next 2 days. Eli's been getting side eyes and whispers wherever he goes. Apparently it was an open secret that they were getting too friendly, but nobody expected pregnancy drama. Update 2, posted 1 week ago. The audacity of these people continues to astound me. Last Tuesday, 3 days after the basket incident, I get a knock on my door at 7 p.m. I look through the peephole and see Sienna, Eli, Mara and Sienna's mother Linda. I almost didn't answer, but I was curious what kind of bullshit they were going to try to pull. Sienna starts talking before I even fully open the door. "Lucas, we need to have a mature conversation about this situation." They push their way into my living room like they own the place. Eli was standing there in his expensive suit looking uncomfortable as hell. Mara wouldn't make eye contact with me. And Linda, holy shit, Linda. This woman looked me dead in the eye and said, "Lucas, I know this is a difficult situation, but Sienna is carrying a child who needs a stable father figure. Not Sienna made a terrible mistake. Not we're sorry for the betrayal. She wanted me to be a stable father figure for her daughter's affair baby. Sienna jumped in with this rehearsed speech about how mistakes were made, but how we could work through this together, and provide a loving home for the baby. She kept using terms like blended family and modern parenting arrangements. I was listening to this thinking I was in some alternate reality. Let me get this straight, I said. You want me to help raise the baby you conceived while cheating on me? It's not that simple, Linda interrupted. Family is about more than biology. You were excited about this pregnancy. Because I thought it was my baby. Mara finally spoke up. Lucas, you're a good man. This baby deserves to have someone like you in their life. The baby deserves to have their actual father in their life, which would be Eli here. Then Eli tried to be the voice of reason. Look, Lucas, I know this is awkward, but we're all adults here. The important thing is what's best for the child. What's best for the child is not being raised by the man your mother tried to cuckold. You absolute walnut. What exactly are you proposing here? I asked. Sienna launched into this insane plan where I would be involved as a co-parent, because I have resources and stability that would benefit the child. I would help with childcare, contribute financially, and maintain a relationship with both her and the baby. And what would I get out of this arrangement? I asked. You'd get to be a father, Linda said, which is what you wanted. I wanted to be a father to my child, with someone who loved and respected me, not someone who was sleeping with another man behind my back. Sienna started crying again. I do love you, Lucas. I made a terrible mistake, but I love you. We could make this work if you just gave us a chance. But Linda topped them all. She pulled out this whole speech about how I'm already emotionally invested in this pregnancy, and how walking away now would be abandoning an innocent child. Then she got to the real point. Sienna is going to need financial support during this time, and Eli is just starting his career. You have a stable job, a house. You could help ensure this child has everything they need. They wanted me to financially support Sienna's pregnancy, an affair baby, while she lives with her baby daddy. I started laughing, not chuckling, full-on belly laughing. I laughed so hard I had tears in my eyes. You want me to pay for her to raise another man's child? Are you people insane? Linda got all huffy about my language. Sienna started crying again. Mara finally spoke up to say I'm being cruel to a pregnant woman. Cruel? I said. She tried to trick me into raising another man's child. She lied to me for months. She made me think I was going to be a father when she knew there was a good chance it wasn't mine. And I'm being cruel. Eli tried to play peacekeeper one more time. Lucas, I think if we all just calm down and discuss this rationally. Discuss what rationally? You've been sneaking around with my girlfriend for months. Now she's pregnant and doesn't know if it's yours or mine. And she tried to trick me into raising the baby anyway. What exactly is there to discuss? The future, Sienna said through her tears. We need to discuss what's best for everyone moving forward. What's best for me is for all of you to get the hell out of my house and never contact me again. Linda stood up and got in my face. You're making a mistake, Lucas. Sienna made one error in judgment, but she carrying an innocent child who deserves better than this. Then maybe she should have thought about that before she started sleeping with someone else. I've been getting texts from Sienna every day since then. Long rambling messages about how she's struggling, and how she never meant for it to happen, and how she thinks we had something real that's worth fighting for. Yesterday she sent me a picture of the ultrasound. I deleted it without opening it. I've talked to a lawyer just to make sure they can't come after me legally for anything. He laughed when I told him the story and said I'm completely in the clear. No legal obligation to someone else's kid, obviously. I also got an STD test because I'm not stupid. Clean, thankfully. The house feels different now, quiet in a good way. I'm sleeping better than I have in months. It's weird how much stress I didn't realize I was carrying around. I think the thing that pisses me off most is how they try to make me feel like the bad guy. Like I'm some heartless monster for not wanting to raise my cheating ex's affair baby. The manipulation was so transparent it was almost insulting. Edit, the texts haven't stopped. Today she sent me a long message about how she's learned from her mistakes and wants to start fresh. With her affair partner's baby, the delusion is real. Someone asked about work. I haven't heard anything from their office since the basket, but a friend of mine who works in the same building says word got around pretty fast about what happened. Multiple people asking. No, I didn't open the ultrasound picture. I'm not emotionally masochistic. About the legal consultation. Apparently it's not uncommon for manipulative exes to threaten paternity suits, even when they know the kid isn't yours. My lawyer said to keep all the evidence I have and ignore any future contact. Yes, I changed the locks the day after they left. And yes, I'm screening all calls now. Final update, posted 3 days ago. Hey Reddit. It's been 6 months since my last update and you guys have been asking for closure, so here it is. First off, thanks to everyone who supported me through this shit show. Reading your comments and messages helped more than you know. So what's happened since? The baby was born 3 weeks ago. Definitely Eli's. Mutual friends say the kid looks exactly like him. Sienna's been posting photos on social media, gushing about her beautiful family and her amazing partner. No mention of me anywhere, of course. It's like our 2 years together never happened. And the best part, despite all those posts about her amazing partner, Eli's still not ready for all this. Just like Sienna admitted in the messages I found. Word through the grapevine is that he's freaking out about the responsibility and financial pressure. He apparently told people at work that he didn't sign up for this, and that Sienna baby trapped him. Meanwhile, Sienna's been struggling. Her maternity leave is unpaid, and Eli's entry-level salary isn't cutting it for the lifestyle she's used to. She had to move back in with her mother Linda. About 2 months ago, Sienna started texting me again. Different approach this time, no more talk about working things out or blended families. Now it's all about how she made the biggest mistake of her life, and how she realizes now what she lost. She sent me this long message about how Eli isn't the man she thought he was, how he's emotionally unavailable and not stepping up as a father. She said she understands now why I was the better choice and asked if we could talk about starting over. I screenshotted it and sent it to my group chat with the guys. We had a good laugh. The really crazy part, last month she asked if I wanted to meet the baby, said she thought it would be healing for both of us and that maybe I could be a positive male influence in the child's life. This woman tried to trick me into raising another man's child, put me through months of emotional hell, brought her whole family to my house to pressure me into supporting her financially, and now wants me to babysit her affair baby because the actual father isn't cutting it. I blocked her on everything after that. But wait, it gets better. 2 weeks ago, Mara reached out through a mutual friend to apologize for her role in everything. Apparently she's feeling guilty because she knew about the affair the whole time and even helped cover for Sienna by providing alibis for her girls' nights. She wanted to meet for coffee to clear the air and explain that she was just being a good friend to Sienna. Hard pass on that manipulation attempt. Then last week, I get a call from Linda, Sienna's mother. She started off apologetic, saying she may have come on too strong before, but then launched into the same bullshit about how I should consider the innocent child and how Sienna is struggling as a single mother. Apparently Eli left last month. Couldn't handle the crying baby and sleepless nights. Big surprise there. Linda actually had the nerve to suggest that maybe this was fate's way of bringing Sienna and me back together. That maybe the baby was meant to bring us closer. I hung up on her. My life now, honestly, it's freaking great. I've been dating someone new for the past 3 months, got promoted at work last month, been hitting the gym regularly, bought a motorcycle I've been wanting for years but Sienna always vetoed because it was too dangerous. Been traveling on weekends, seeing friends I hadn't seen in forever because Sienna always found reasons why we couldn't hang out with them. Turns out I was in a relationship that was slowly suffocating me, and I didn't even realize it until I could breathe again. I'm not bitter anymore. I'm grateful. Grateful that I found out before we got married, before I wasted more years, before I got legally tangled up in her bullshit. I'm done with this saga. Time to close this chapter and keep building the life I actually want. Thanks again, Reddit. You guys are real ones. Edit, multiple people asking about the baby. I genuinely wish the kid well, but it's not my responsibility. Eli and Sienna made their choices. Now they get to live with the consequences.